Hey guys, what's going on? This 2's guide, this 2's commentary, I should say, is sponsored by Squad OV, one of the best applications you should be using to improve in Arena. You can break down all your games, look exactly what happened, literally second by second. It takes 2 seconds to install and it's free. You can see how someone died, what abilities they were using, where your damage peaked and where their damage peaked, all this kind of stuff that you normally can't see with even just recording your games. Like, it's not only more convenient and simple than like recording it via Streamlabs or Shadowplay, but it gives you far more detail. And I think, in my opinion, watching your own games back, identifying mistakes you're making, and building on that is the best way to improve in WoW and pretty much anything, right? So this makes it really, really simple. You can watch your games back. You can listen to even your comms. You can listen to what people are calling. The thing is absolutely crazy. I would recommend it even if I wasn't sponsored by them. And it is just a pleasure to be sponsored by something I actually believe in. All right, guys, hope you enjoy the commentary. Take it easy. Peace out. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the 2's commentary series where we're going to literally break down every single or as many 2's comps as we possibly can. For reference, if you haven't been watching my YouTube channel before, I really enjoy 2's, especially in a meta where it's fast, it's fun. I think the current season is pretty enjoyable in 2's. I think the shackle kind of introduces a new element, a lot of kill opportunities for healers that normally couldn't. And obviously getting the 2100 rewards as soon as possible is going to make an absolute difference to your gameplay. It's going to be massive for your eye level, right? Just you're going to pump way more damage and be able to continue to improve. So what we're doing with each of these commentaries is we're going to break down a couple wins, a couple losses. I'm going to kind of talk through the games. We're going to have a video on each comp, largely playing with different healers sometimes, obviously. And this is a warrior POV, but I think this could also be useful for like everyone because it's just general game sense, general, mistakes I'm making that I'm identifying as I'm playing, or watching through them again, and all that good stuff. General thoughts right now. I know a lot of people are asking, is Kyrian, Venthyr, whatever, who's better? I think they're both extremely viable for 2's right now. I would say that, in my opinion, Venthyr is still better in 2's, especially if you're versing warrior versus warrior, any plate matchup, and you have the mobility of Condemn. However, I think Kyrian with the 10-second spear is so good into double DPS, especially into like rogue mage and stuff like that. Like, it is insane. There's a lot of matchups you will just win because you're Kyrian. However, the mirror is definitely favoring, in my opinion, still favors Venthyr. So regardless if you're Venthyr or Kyrian or Necrolord or Night Fae, you are still very, very viable. Warriors very strong in 2's. Healers I would recommend. Obviously, one thing on everyone's mind right now is that Arsham with the Earth Elemental Legendary, absolutely insane, right? That Legendary here drops about 100k damage. Let me find it. Deep Tremor Stone drops about 100k damage from the Shaman just from that Earthquake alone, and you pair that with Flame Shocks, Purges, Lava Bursts, and you have insane pressure with a Warrior who can also sharpen when they're low, and they have to heal through that Earth Ele. So really, really nuts. Also, I think Druids are excellent in 2's, probably one of the strongest healers still, especially a good Druid who's able to kind of live through the goes and really do well. So I highly recommend that you play with Arsham or Druid if you're really sweating and trying to push 2.1 or higher, 2.4 even, but I think if you're pushing 2.4, you're probably set. However, I think Priest, Mistweaver, H-Pal, all super viable. Like, they're not bad at all. They all come with their different strengths. Mistweaver is very, very hard for melee to kill or even casters to kill with the ability to stun ports now, and they can kind of extend out a game, which helps you kind of get to dampening and win. I think, Holy Paladin, still crazy. Defensive CDs, the ability to bop you when you're disarmed or in a spear, or stunned, just lets you be even more aggressive. And that bubble as well that really helps for them to stay alive so you don't get one shot to anything. However, the mana and consistency of Holy Paladin, like their overall healing output over a longer game, if you're taking a lot of damage, is a bit harder to deal with. I think Holy Paladins pair a lot better with things that have their own sort of self-heal or ability to peel right now, just because it lets them kind of reset a lot of their mana and not, inefficiently spend it. In terms of priests have a really, really aggressive go. Like Mind Games into Shackle, and then you can run Shackle too, is extremely strong. So definitely check that out as well. All right, guys, we're going to jump into some commentaries for the first time here. I'm hoping the goal of these guides is that, we're going to bring someone who has not much experience, maybe 0 to 1800 experience, and kind of show them, obviously not the best. Like if you want to watch the best warrior, or best warriors, check out Magnus, check out like Revo. If these types of warriors, there's a whole bunch more that are really, really good. I don't know all the ones that stream, but there's heaps of them that stream that are higher rated than me. I think the big thing that I'm hopefully able to provide is just kind of open, transparent commentary on a very regular basis. So yeah, these are just my gameplay, and I'm pointing out my mistakes where I see them. And if you see something that I make a mistake on that I don't pick up as well, definitely put it in the comments below, because this is an exercise for me just as much as it is, a guide for you guys, because it just forces me to watch my gameplay, which is the best way to improve. All right, guys. Hope you enjoy this. Hope you enjoy this whole series. It's probably going to be a big one. It's going to be long. There's going to be a whole bunch of matchups you're probably not going to be interested in. But use this as a toolkit in the future if you're queuing into something and you're like, fuck, how do I beat this comp? And you can just pop back and you can see, what I do. Maybe that's not the play, but gives you some ideas. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace out. All right, so today we're looking at a really, really difficult matchup for a lot of warriors who are starting out right now. It's Destro Lock with either Ardruid or Holy Priest. You'll see them play with either. Right now, Affliction Lock got nerfed pretty hard with the removal of the slow. So a lot of Destros are coming out. The bolts are fast. They're hitting really hard. And this is just a hard one for a lot of people to kind of work out what to do. We're playing Warrior Ardruid, and we're going to jump into the game straight here. So again, something like this, I generally want to run on Dark Soul, get on top of them. And it's ultimately a mana / dampening race. Like, it's kind of hard, to just kill this guy in the opener. Now, the reason I Bladestorm there is that a lot of Druids, what they'll do when you charge a Warlock, and this is something you'll notice, is that they'll pounce stun. In my opinion, the Bladestorm here, because I have a Druid, is a bit redundant because he can pounce stun. And it's probably better to save it for coil. But, if you don't have a Druid, it's probably not bad to do. So there's a pounce stun. I get cycloned, and they're generally just trying to cyclone me to get distance. My Druid plays really, really well in this game as well. I use Avatar to break the root and leap over, and he's probably going to port away now. And I'm just condooming, all this kind of stuff. I use Door of Shadows, and he uses Ursouls and kicks it, so not bad at all, not a bad trade. And what I do here is I can't really connect. I don't want to commit too much here. So what I do is I swap onto the Druid here. And I do take a bolt doing this. I put Reflect up, but it's way too late. And one of the biggest mistakes here is you generally want to just make sure you have cover before you throw Shackle on a Druid. Firstly, because they can dispel it. And in this instance, he just jumped away from it. So make sure if you're running Shackle, especially against a Druid, that you do try and lock it down with a stun. And we unfortunately use Reflect there too, which is a bit of an MS issue. I think, we would have normally got it. I use stun here and he cyclones me, which is fine. Generally the cyclone isn't a big deal. We're still getting mana from them. We're winning and they don't really have any pressure. I've got full hots on. I'm in D stance, I ignore pain. So 2 bolts and it does about 9k damage. So here, one really, really big thing to notice is when you see Havoc, whatever button you have, so you can either use something like nameplate cooldowns or what's it called? Or Omni CC, whatever, or even just make a weak aura. When you see Havoc on cooldown, they're probably going to coil. In this instance, I was stunned into coil, so there's no way to react. But this is a really, really good time to use Bladestorm. Firstly, because they probably just want to get the coil out and they have to wait until Blaze Storm. It kind of messes up their go. But secondly, like if you're playing with a druid, he has enough time to get the havoc off himself, you know, so he doesn't have to worry about the coil. And so every time I pause it and like unpause it, there's a bit of like frame delay. I just leap away from this Dark Soul. You just don't want to tank Dark Soul generally. Like there's no point to. You win this anyway. And if this like druid like kind of pokes you, like which they sometimes will because they're kind of greedy, they will like just swap to him and just hit him a few times, because even getting him low, like he has to at least consider hotting himself because he doesn't know how big if you're going to commit to him or not. My druid pounces him, stuns him, and then Dark Soul's about to end, so I stun the end of Dark Soul, and we do our go here. Okay, so I get the sharpen off, and I'm not going to chase, right? The reason I don't chase, I don't really have much mobility, and the druid's literally right next to me. He doesn't have trinket for a minute and a half, so he's still in a lot of trouble, honestly. I just Blade Storm here to break through and get rid of the slow, and I reflect that bolt there. Reflecting the bolt there is really, really lucky for me because I get a lot of pressure, and I draw shadows on top of him. The door's really, really nice because it actually stops him from moving as well. The coil comes out here, which kind of sucks, but I'm in D stance. I've got hots on me. Honestly, I'm going to be chilling, and as you can see, my health just goes to full. There's thorns here, and I'm in D stance, and I'm ignore painting, but this is probably where I should just hit the pet. You don't really want to hit into thorns, but considering we're like really, really healthy, I find it was okay. I don't avatar that one because I just don't think we really have a go here. I don't have stun or any lockdown, so I'd rather just sit here and like when the lock runs away, just swap to the druid whenever he comes in. And now I leap over and I commit with this go because I have like stun, I've got damage, everything's sort of lighting up, and we get some decent pressure here. My druid's literally drinking. One thing to do if you are struggling to get to a target like a Warlock, if their druid's in front of you and you have Rage for Condemn, and the druid's usually going to be full health because he's just got a hot rolling on him, just Condemn to the druid, and then like you can walk over or like, Condemn to the Warlock after that. So the fear comes out here. Something you want to note with fear is that like, it's a bit of coordinating your healer. Like if your healer, sometimes your healer will just get them. But here, my healer uses trinket. I parry here as well, so it's a bit of a misplay. I probably didn't need to parry. However, we're taking some damn here too. And right now, he's got Dark Soul coming back up in a sec. We just want to like make note of that. And here's kind of just like where I'm just waiting for mobility. If I can get to him for a condemn, it's good, but it's not honestly going to make the biggest difference. One thing you want to try and do when you leap is try and get that piercing howl on as soon as possible, because then you can kind of keep chasing with condemn. He ports away, so like one thing you really want to think of is like, where is your healer? So if I leap to him there and my healer's in the middle of Africa, he's literally got Dark Soul, he has a trinket, I have no lockdown really, I can Blade Storm maybe, but I may as well hit this druid that's like on the other side of the map. So we get the stun on him here. I actually commit a fair bit to this because he has no hots. I kick the Fleshcraft and I keep pumping here. I swap back now and I stun, and he trinkets the stun and I get Cyclone. Like this is super unfortunate for them because I got Cycloned and he coiled into it and used a bolt. So I Blaze Storm here so I can just stay on top of him. Probably didn't need to. That was kind of a bad Blaze Storm because I could Blaze Storm right now and then I wouldn't be stunned. So, probably should just wait a little bit and then I'm fine. But they have no trinkets right now. I kick that bolt and we have Sharpen coming out on this. There is Thorns, so I swap on this Thorns and my druid stuns this guy. There's a fear, doesn't really matter. I just D-stance whenever he fears. There's Dark Soul, I stun it and I just run away. Because like, honestly, like as the game is going right now, I've got my trinket, I've got Banner, I have Rally, I have Parry in 3 seconds. The only way we really throw this is if, I get coiled here or like CC'd in any way. Like he doesn't have coil right now, but if I get stunned and bolted twice and my druid's in a CC, when he has Dark Soul up, this is the last window they have. So we just deny that window from ever happening. Even if he drinks, it just doesn't matter. Like dampening's too high at that point. I just move out of that. That's that new ability that they have. The druid's drinking there, and I think I try and like get a heroic throw on it, and is just awkward. I reflect the fear, which didn't end up being bad because he had to sit it, and it didn't really end up doing much either. And we take one bolt here because I kicked the fear, or I kicked something, I don't know what it was. There's Iron Bark here, and what I do is I banner here when like my druid's coming in, and we banner that fear. I think we banner that fear. I don't know if it's DR'd. And the main reason for that is that like your druid's in there, like whatever CC they use and peels, you're gonna just cover him with that. And like you can either use that on that or coil and stuff like that. I get the shackle off here. Yeah, it kind of feels a bit shit here. I wouldn't really run coil a shackle into something like this. I feel like that they've got a lot of stops and you don't. So like it feels a bit redundant. And what I do here is that because my druid leapt in and stunned him, I charged the druid instead of leaping because I want to hold my mobility. So now I've got leap still. I have shadow step or whatever it's called, door of shadows, and I have charge in like 8 seconds. And condemn obviously is nutty. So we get rooted here. It's really, really short, and I stun the druid, and I keep going on this. I don't really know why I stunned the druid actually. It might have actually just been a mispress. Because I think it would have been way better to stun the what's it called? The Warlock on that. I swapped Druid here because he has no hearts, and then swap back. Also, he's got thorns. I don't know. It's not that nice. And these are the bolts. What I should have done here, 100%, is I should have pressed Fear here because it would have trinketed instantly to get these bolts off. And it would have stopped this bolt from happening. Like, obviously my Druid's good, so he's in bear form. But I pressed Fear really late. I still get the trinket, but I could have stopped like 20k worth of damage, which is kind of important in damp. I Blaze Storm that Fear so that I can hold Berserker Rage, and I'm on DR, right? Because if you eat the like first second of it, you're on DR for the Fear. So even if like I have to use Berserker on something else, it's fine. The Warlock jumps away, and this is one really big thing I tell to like everybody who's struggling with things like Warlocks in particular, is that you probably shouldn't chase if there's something you can hit behind you. And generally, like, chasing just feels really bad, especially there. Like, I have no leap, I only have door. And, like, he's so far away that I can only leap to him. That's the only way I get to him. And because I hit him, like, he has to waste a whole bunch of globals getting to me and then shadow fearing. Whereas if I charged on top of him, maybe it wouldn't have been that clean. And the druid can get to him so quickly and stun me. So swapping the druid, especially in this level of dampening, is just more stuff he has to heal. Where healing is starting to get hard. If you just saw that regrowth, it barely did anything, especially with Mortal Strike. So, you take it very, very slow, methodical. There's thorns. Cool. I'm just chilling here. I'm in D stance. He shackles me. I stun the shackle. It's kind of good I didn't waste stun. Holding a stun for shackle is always good. You can also reflect a shackle too. So we get on top. I missed kick, unfortunately, because I Zerka Rage. It's pretty obvious. I don't know. It was a bad kick. And here we are. He's pretty much in dead mode. There's not really too many things he can do to live here. And we're just taking it slow. Like, there's no reason to rush this. I'm just sitting in D stance, waiting till they get all their CC out, all their crap, and then just slowly going to win this game. There's no point in rushing the process right now because you just win anyway, honestly. I tried to kick the Cyclone there, which I actually thought he would have tried to go for, but I guess I have Reflect and Kick, so like it's a lot of ways to stop him and he's next to me. So I'd rather him fake me than to lose that though. He gets the port off there, and I probably could have leapt that. That's a really important thing. I do leap back to him anyway. It's not really a big deal. And here is where I get coiled again. It gets dispelled instantly. Druid is playing absolutely insane in this game. And I just throw the banner down here, which is lucky because it gets, not only does it get the fear, but it gets the clone. So like it's like double DR'd me here. There's a stun on me, and we're just taking it easy, to be honest. I stun the fear. There's a Chaos Bolt. I stun it. I'm just committing here because like, we may as well. Actually, I don't commit. That was smart because I could have somehow died there. My druid has no trinket, maybe. I don't know. I get the NS off, like the NS comes off, and we're just chilling. 9 seconds, just hitting some stuff, Infernal and stuff. Now there's 5 seconds. I kick that, and I put Reflect on them for that, and he fakes it, but it doesn't really matter because now I get a fear coming off this. Nice, and I feared the what's it called, fear on the druid there too. And then he is in dead range. He coils me, and you know, Druid's healing is kind of nuts. Like, this is pretty late dampening. We're 16 minutes in and still one game, you know. So definitely probably could have pushed the game to end a bit faster, but honestly, this kind of feels risk-free. Like, they've never put me in a position where I'm super scared, and I'm like constantly 40k HP. Here, I don't know. I couldn't have actually avoided that one. I do reflect this bolt though, which is very nice. And then we just condemn. He's got no mana. You go through thorns, parry it. Doesn't really make a difference. And we finish off the Warlock. So long game, but hopefully you can kind of understand my thought processes when versing Warlocks. Something to kind of break down, you know, when you should be using your abilities, all that kind of stuff. It is a slow and long one, and honestly, if you're playing something like Warrior Druid, Warrior Shem, you don't have to rush it. You win anyway. So like, don't be greedy running out and trying to tank Dark Soul because you have like Warbreaker on the target. Like, it doesn't really matter. You win anyway if you just let the game go out and your healer has mana, because you have Mortal Strike and they don't. Unless they're running Fell Fissure and you're standing in it. But hopefully this was useful. We're going to jump into some more tomorrow in some more videos, and we'll do one of these pretty much every day. Take it easy, guys. If you enjoy the content, please consider following the stream. I might stream again soon. Who knows? If you're interested in some coaching, check the Patreon out. If you're interested in jumping into the Discord, saying hello to other warriors, check that out too. All right, peace out.